Carrie Scott here for the New Jersey State Museum. Welcome to Small Explorers. Small Explorers is our free program at the museum for children ages 6 months to 5 years old and their families. At each session we explore a new theme through storytelling, gallery objects, crafts, games, and playtime. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about crocodiles. So crocodiles are reptiles. That means that they breathe air like we do. They have lungs. They have scaly, bumpy skin. And they're cold-blooded. And we're going to explore what that means today. When you're looking at a crocodile, what is the first thing you notice? That big mouth and those big teeth. And that's actually the inspiration for this week's American Sign Language sign. The sign for crocodile takes that big mouth and those big teeth and turns them into a sign. So ready, get your jaws and your teeth ready, and open and close it once. Crocodile. Crocodile. Snap. So how about here in New Jersey? Do we have the right climate for crocodiles? Can you think of any time of year where it gets really, really cold? Yeah, it's really hard for crocodiles to live here, especially during the winter. But New Jersey used to have a climate that supported crocodiles. It was warm enough for them to live here all year round. And today we're going to visit Written in the Rocks, our New Jersey's fossil collection. And we're going to take a look at some prehistoric crocodiles.
Crocodiles are cold-blooded. That means they can't make their own heat. They need a habitat or home that's the right temperature. Most crocodiles today live in tropical environments, places that are very warm and wet. They like lakes, rivers, wetlands, and some even like estuaries, places where fresh water and salty water mix. So how do crocodiles keep themselves at the right temperature? One way is by basking in the sun. See the crocodile's bumpy, scaly skin? Crocodiles have bony plates in their skin called scutes. The scutes help this crocodile as armor, but they also help it absorb heat. What about when it gets too hot? Crocodiles can't sweat to cool off like we can. One way they can cool down is by mouth gaping. They open their mouths wide while they relax on the shore. Crocodilians are ancient. That means they're very, very old. Millions of years ago, there were crocodiles living in New Jersey alongside the dinosaurs, and they kept living here long after the dinosaurs went extinct. Paleontologists are scientists who study what life was like on Earth millions of years ago by studying fossils. Crocodile fossils found around New Jersey include footprints, scutes, bones, and even jaws full of teeth, like this thoracosaur jaw. Different species of crocodilians have different jaw shapes. This one is long and skinny, probably for eating fish. See those long, sharp teeth? This jaw was found in Burlington County by a man who was out for a walk in the woods, and those teeth were sticking up out of the ground. This jaw is about 50 to 55 million years old. That's about 10 to 15 million years after the dinosaur extinction. Even older and bigger was the Deinosuchus. Deinosuchus lived along dinosaurs in the Cretaceous period, about 82 to 73 million years ago. Even though it looked a lot like today's crocodiles, it was much, much bigger. It was big enough and had a strong enough bite to eat large dinosaurs. Its name, Deinosuchus, means terrible crocodile, and it was one of the largest crocodile species to ever live. This is just the Deinosuchus's mouth, his jaws. The whole animal was about 40 feet long. That's almost as long as a sperm whale.
There are fossil dig sites all over New Jersey, including the Ellisdale site in Monmouth County. Deinosuchus is just one of the fossilized creatures that have been found there. Dr. Dana Ehret is a paleontologist at the New Jersey State Museum, He's visiting the Illus site today. I wonder how he digs for fossils there. Let's head over there now.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Dr. Dana, and I'm one of the paleontologists that works at the New Jersey State Museum. Today, we're in a creek in central New Jersey looking for fossils. When paleontologists go out looking for fossils, we need to look for rocks and sediments that are the right age to have fossils in them. Today, I'm in an area that has sediments and sand that are 75 million years old from the late Cretaceous time period, the same time that T-Rex was alive. In this area, 75 million years ago, we had giant crocodiles that lived here, like Deinosuchus and Thoracosaurus, along with sharks and fish, and even we get plant fossils. When paleontologists go out looking for fossils, we have tools that we use. We use things like a trowel and a sifter box when we're sifting in a creek. And if we're out digging in the dirt or in the rocks, we use a rock hammer. Today, I'm looking for fossils in a creek, so I'm going to use my sifter box and my trowel. And it's very simple. I'm going to get down near the creek, and I'm going to shovel some of the sediment, some of the gravel into my sifter. And I'm going to act like I'm panning for gold. I'm going to slowly swirl it around so that all the small pieces of sand go through my screen, but the fossils and the rocks stay behind. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look for fossils. This is a rock, so I'm not going to keep this, but I'm going to look through my sifter to see if I got any. And I found a couple shark teeth. So this is what these shark teeth look like. And these shark teeth probably belonged to a goblin shark. And goblin sharks are still alive today, and they live in the deep ocean. But 75 million years ago, this would have been near the coastline, near the beach today. So these sharks were swimming near the shore. Now, this work takes a lot of time. I found a couple fossils right away, but you have to have a lot of patience. It can take days or weeks or even months to find neat fossils like Deinosuchus when we're out collecting. So it takes a lot of time and a lot of patience to do this. Once I found my fossils, I'm going to put them in my specimen bag so that I can take them back to the museum and put them in our museum collections. It's important to keep the specimens and where you found them and other information like that together because it's good for research. So now people can come and visit the museum and see these fossils, and scientists can come and study them. Have a great afternoon and find some great fossils.
Thank you, Dr. Errett. That's really neat. I would love to try digging for fossils. Digging in a sandbox is a lot of fun, especially for our smallest explorers. But on days when we can't go outside to dig, it could be fun to make a sensory bin for our toddlers or a texture painting for our pre-K explorers. For a crocodile sensory bin, you could use sand or something else that's dry and bumpy, like dry cereal. There are a lot of different materials you can use for a texture painting. Today, I'm going to use salt and sand to make Crocodile's scaly, bumpy skin. Today I'm going to use sand on one crocodile and salt on the other crocodile. And when we're done with the salt crocodile and it is all dry, I'm going to add some color to it with watercolors. If you're working with sand or dirt, especially if it's nice colorful dirt, this once upon a time was a sand art project. You can use the color of your sand, or
you can mix the sand with craft or acrylic paint. That's actually, here, let me show you an example of that over here. See this stone wall right here? It's very, very bumpy. This is acrylic paint mixed with sand. So it comes out very, very bumpy and rough. Okay. So the first thing that we need to do is put down some glue for our sand or our salt to stick to. I've showed you before that I really like to put down glue with a paintbrush. Helps control the mess, and you have more control over where your sand or your salt is going to stick. I'm just gonna paint up both my crocodiles real quick. Alrighty, we're gonna put some sand on our first crocodile. Another way to contain the mess, which I just thought of just now, is to take your piece of paper and put it in something like a broad, flat box to help keep the sand and the salt on top of the paper. All right, I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of salt on this. Alright, so I'm going to leave this be for a little while. I'm going to let it dry, and then I'm going to sprinkle the excess off into a container of some kind. And then we get to start painting our salt crocodile. Okay, so my salt and sand crocodiles have dried, and I've gotten rid of the extra sand and salt, kind of poured it off into this bowl. So now I'm going to take my watercolor paints and start painting on the salt crocodile. And I'm not going to be really so much painting as dabbing color into the salt. So I've got my water. I like to use a spritz bottle. And I have my paints. I'm pretty much just going to keep dabbing little bits of color into it. This takes a lot of water. So I'm going to keep painting this, and we'll check back when it's done. And there we have it. Our salt painting and our sand painting. So I recommend for the salt painting, if you're going to use watercolor, some cheap pan watercolors and a lot of water. What worked best for this was actually spraying the water onto the salt and then just dabbing a little bit of color and watching it spread and mix. I used 3 different colors for this. All right. I hope you guys try this out. I had a lot of fun with it.
Thanks for joining me today, explorers. Have fun, keep exploring, and I'll see you next time. Bye.